Welcome to this short video. This one concerns the CP function, which you can see up at the top here. CP stands for Control Panel, and CP is a function which is primarily there for administrators. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through classes. So I'm going to go to CP and select classes from the drop down, and you can see all of our classes pulling through from your MIS. If you don't use an MIS, then you would need to add your classes manually. And to add a new class, you can click on the button up here, create new class, and fill in the details. We do have a separate video on how to create a new class and a new year group for all of those schools that don't use an MIS. But generally, most schools do use an MIS, so you shouldn't need to worry too much about that. That will pull through automatically when eSchool synchronizes with your MIS every night. But within eSchools, you can see a bit more information on your individual classes, and you can turn off one or two functions which are on there. To find out a little bit more information, click on the name of the class itself, and you'll see a pop-up window with a number of functions that you can turn on or off. Firstly, the class name will pull through directly from the school's MIS. So if you want to change it, the MIS will probably change it back. So if you do want to change the name of a class, which is quite common from year to year, particularly with schools that want to include a teacher's initials in the class name. If you change that on your MIS, that will pull through to eSchools automatically. For secondary schools, you might want to attach a subject. That's entirely up to you. And then underneath there, you have a number of tick boxes, and let's go through those. So the first one is hide Maple from users, Maple being the name of the class in this instance. It might seem a bit strange to hide the class details from the students involved in that class, but some of those students might have already left the school. Let's say it's the end of the academic year and those students have left, maybe they are on study leave. You might want to hide it from the users completely so that teachers can get on with creating class pages for their new intake. You can turn on registers for the class so that teachers can take an attendance register, and the same with dinners as well. So teachers can take a dinner register at the same time as doing an attendance register. Within a class, students can have a conversation. This is seen by everybody in the class, including the teacher. If you don't want your students to do that sort of thing, you can turn off those class discussions in there too. Younger students might appreciate the picture passwords, which instead of having a username and a password, they just have 4 icons. So they can select those 4 icons from the login screen and get into their eSchools platform that way. For more information on this, take a look at our passwords video, which goes through picture passwords and how to reset them. Teachers can also use another class's homepage. This is really handy if you have 2 classes that are working fairly close together side by side. Instead of a teacher creating a class page with pictures and videos and text boxes, and then that other class teacher replicating that class page, you can tick the box so that content is copied across to the other one. If you do want to do that sort of thing, tick the box and type in the name of the class that will be the master. Then when any information goes onto that class's homepage, it will automatically be copied across to this particular class's homepage as well. Now, for more information on what a class page looks like, it may help to go and look at our classes videos, which talk through that information in a bit more detail. Now, you can add additional members to the class, particularly teachers and other staff. To add individual members of staff to the class, just type their name into the box. You can add students as well, but if you are a school that uses an MIS, the information on here will be checked against your MIS. So if you are putting pupils in there, the system may just throw them out again. If you do need to add a student to a class, it's best to do it in your MIS first, and it comes across here automatically. You can also select a main user, and that means that those students can see that person's photograph when they log into their side of the eSchools platform. In this case, anybody from the Maple class will then see that the main teacher, in this case, is Mr. Brown. If you're finding that your class pages are displaying a random face, it might just mean that you need to go into classes through CP and go to the class in question, click on the main user tab and select the correct person's photograph. So that's the information that you can see within classes. I hope that's been useful to you, and I'll speak to you again soon.